first of all, welcome to the Master Mentors program of answer writing program. That is, today we are going to discuss about the answer writing. Okay, now as you all know, in UPSC, answer writing plays a very significant role. Obviously, once you have qualified the prelim, you have proved that you are eligible enough to write the mains of the UPSC. UPSC takes the prelims for that, and that's why we will be also focusing on the prelims in the coming sessions. But as of now, like we are in November, and we should also be thinking about like at least you should have an idea and a certain amount of practice for the answer writing. Now, see, if you go in the market, like most of you have done your classes and all those things. So, what is the case is that many of you have, many of you may have certain experience or certain knowledge about how to write the answers and all those things. But in my 8 years experience of teaching, what I have come across is basically the fundamentals about the writing itself are not clear to the student. We have learned the writing and we have done a lot many things, but still somewhere or the other, I feel that why it is so difficult. And in certain subjects like paper 1 and paper 4, where it matters more, in spite of having a lot of content, studying a lot, it's not that students are not studying for means. Obviously यार मतलब prelim pass होने में इतना कसा होता है, ऐसे कोई तो pass होता नहीं है. So if someone is qualifying the prelims, then obviously what we are saying that he is sincere enough. So obviously prelim को हम लोग clear कर दिया. Now it is about the mains. And when we speak about the mains, in spite of studying very hard, many students do study, and what we experience is that the result is very, very low. Okay, or that can be reflected even when you see the cutoffs of the UPSC mains examination. Now they are not even 50% that you know, even with the final selection. Now, why is that so? Okay, why is that so? If you try to find out the reasons, okay, then we come across that in India, specifically in our education systems and all those things, writing has not been taught that properly. Like for example, like if I have to give my example that when did I start writing? Okay, when I was a student of mass media, and when I went at that place also, I didn't learn to write, frankly speaking. But when I was actually on the field, like working in journalism, and when actually it really mattered that what kind of news are there and all those things. So at that place, basically what happened, I started to realize that okay, writing is something different than what we are saying. So what is that writing all about? So today, in today's session, today and tomorrow's session, what I am going to do is I am going to introduce you to basic fundamentals of writing. Then I am going to take you to the what are the requirements for the UPSC about the writing. And then basically we will move on to the directives that are there in the UPSC examination, like for directives or the keywords and understanding their meanings. So how to write. So today's lecture objective is to introduce you to some of the basic concepts about the writing. As I told you, everywhere, if you go in the market, there are a lot of material where people are telling you that you should write this way, write that way, but no one is telling you actually what is writing and what are the changes that we should be doing. Okay, how do we start? Okay, so all those points do matter a lot when it comes to the answer writing specifically. Okay, so if we move on, okay, to begin with, as like our first session, just to introduce you all, uh, we all Master Mentor, that is earlier we used to call it August Careers, is an e-learning platform for personalized, quality, and affordable learning for UPSC Civil Services examination. And our aim at the Master Mentor is to offer cutting-edge learning tools which you will realize with respect to time by blending the innovative and interactive programs of multimedia. We basically are committed to provide students the experience of collaborative learning. So this is where the learning parts come into, and we basically want to redefine the learning procedure more than what is existing right now. So each module, whatever the modules we will be going through, will be carefully crafted and curated with the highest precision. And we will bring to you a range of subjects on digital platform to enhance your learning more effectively. So these are like this is just to introduce you to Master Mentor once again. And with that, we will begin with our session. And in the session, first thing that I'm going to talk about is what is writing. Okay, what is writing? If I ask you, some of you, like we all have been learning writing, right? Since like we were in nursery or in the first standard, hum logon ne likhna seekha. But if someone asks you what is writing, and again I will take you from what is writing to specifically how to write the answers in the UPSC. Again, understand it's not a difficult process to begin with. It is not a difficult process, but it is not well understood process, especially in India. It is not that well understood. That means that people do write, but like we don't write for the sense of writing. We have been brought up in a system where basically we write to get the marks simply, where we actually want to get the marks, qualify our degrees and get the degrees and all those things. That's the only objective, and that's why it is a problem. Like most of you must be graduate, and you may have realized by now that when you are writing for the university is altogether different when it comes to writing for UPSC. So for that only, I am starting with very fundamental as to what writing is. If it has to be defined, we all know writing is a process of using symbols like letters of alphabet, punctuation marks, and proper spaces to communicate thoughts and ideas in a readable form. So what we have to do, so what is writing simply? It is use of those symbols like letter A. The way in which we write letter A is a symbol. So by using that symbol, we and the punctuation marks and the proper spaces. If I'm not using the proper spaces, then the meaning changes. Okay, so these all three things are important because I will bring you to that level when all these things under meaning is important for the UPSC and thoughts to communicate. What is the objective over here of writing? Writing is to communicate your thoughts and ideas and in a readable form. So that is again like an important point that you should know, that alphabets, punctuation mark, proper spaces, which try to communicate your thoughts and ideas in a readable form. Okay, like you just say like Jnaneshwari hai, Gita hai, okay, या फिर religious literature, Mahabharata and all those things. In earlier times, in the Vedic age, we all know they were recited and then gradually it evolved into writing. So writing was the fourth stage that evolved in the learning. Okay, now writing, from the first definition, it is use of symbols. And from the second definition, writing can also refer to the work or career of an author. Like if you ask someone, what is writing for you? He may say like, I am an author, or it is my career. But here, we will look at writing as a means to achieve your objective. Okay, without writing practice or without writing properly, it is really very difficult to qualify the UPSC mains. Now, I'm telling this to you after giving so many mains, and I have been consistently scoring in the jobs, but I always messed up upon the optionals. So understand, for a civil servant to achieve your dream of being a civil servant, qualifying means is an important thing. Obviously, qualifying prelims is first step, so is the mains the second step, and then obviously the interview. But let us say in interview is weighted of comparatively only 10% of the marks of what the mains examination is. So if you have to get a rank, okay, in UPSC, that means that you need a very good score in the mains. Okay, and then think from the toppers point of view, like what is the difference that toppers make? Okay, like if you say it's like today when you're preparing, obviously you must be looking at the first three services like IAS, IFS and IPS. You are not looking initially start करते हुए कोई देखता नहीं हुआ ना, मुझे रेलवेज में जाना है या पोस्टल सर्विसेज में जाना है, डिफेंस सर्विसेज में जाना है. So you may not be looking. Your objective is clearly to what you can say, get into those three services. That requires what? That requires a large amount of preparation or the writing practice. So without writing, basically there is no UPSC. Okay, now writing is what basically it is the fourth of the four language skills. Now, what are the four language skills? They are all important. Understand, to write effectively, it is very important that you listen properly, you speak properly, you read properly, and then you write properly. So initially, in the history of human evolution, first of all, we can say that human beings started to what you can say speak. Maybe not in the form of as the languages are advanced in today's age, but obviously they must be speaking, they must be listening, and they must be reading is something very debatable. Reading is not there in the earlier period, but when it started, when people started to write, which is we call the history. So reading, writing, and then what we can say in our own language. Okay, every language, whatever your language may be, Marathi, English, or whatever the language, vernacular English or Hindi. Okay, it is the fourth pillar. Writing is basically the fourth pillar of what we learn. Understand this again. Okay, so with that, basically, it is not a difficult thing to understand. It is just that many a times we never think, even though we write a lot, but we never think what actually writing is. So that's why I'm telling you all those things. So you have understood, I hope, suppose. Like it is, see, always writing is a medium, by medium, which actually helps in you giving out the thoughts and ideas that you have in your mind. Like some of you must be writing the diaries and all those things. Okay, right? Okay, so in diaries, what you write, you think about what you write, and then obviously there are two ways of writing the diary. Obviously, you will consider. What you can say, obviously you will consider what is to be written, whether I am writing for someone or whether I am writing for self. Like if I am writing a diary, and if I don't want others to read it, I will write in my way, because that will help me in communicating, okay, to myself. Whereas if I have to write for someone, it has to be readable and it has to be grammatically correct, so that it has to be right. So there are basically two essentials of any answer writing in UPSC. There are two essentials. Okay, essentials means you should understand that writing, they tell you all the way in UPSC, like it's a big market, obviously you all know. So they will tell, we will take the answer writing and all those things. But what is the basic things? Now here, some of you may get frightened. Here, ye mera theek se nahi hai. Okay, or some of people right now are saying like Marathi ka score nahi aata, ye nahi aata, but it is not the point. Language, how effectively you are communicating, that is only the point. Okay, communicating what your knowledge. So the two essentials of answer writing are what? First one is to understand the basic system of language. Okay, basic system of language. Like this includes knowledge of grammar, punctuation, and the sentence structure. Like many a times, as I have been teaching for many years, I have come across the students who will say, "Sir, I don't know. Please, can you review my answers and all those things." Now, the first feedback that I give to those students is feedback on whether the sentences are proper, whether the grammar is correct, whether the punctuation is correct, or whether they are doing spelling mistakes or something like that. Okay, understand? This is my first feedback about whenever anyone writes answer, I will minutely look into the spellings. Okay, why? Again, see, if you write a wrong spelling, you must have also experienced that it gets highlighted as early as possible. Okay, it highlights very rapidly. So that is what we are speaking about. So first one is to understand the basic system of language. Now this includes knowledge of grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, whether your sentences are cohesive enough to support what you have written. Like your sentences, if they are not getting formed properly, then what is the point? Okay, so that is the first part. And the second part is understanding the objective of writing. So our lecture is divided into these two parts. So in the first part, I will speak the importance of this and how to improve this. Okay, so I'm not going to just raise the questions. I'm also going to give the explanation of how they can be prepared in better way. Okay, so the second point is understanding the objective of writing. Like for example, you're writing for UPSC mains, so you should, and that is your objective for every subject, or what you can say, what is being asked, are you able to, what you can say, share it with, and all those things. So that is what you have to basically see. The second point is understanding the objective of writing. Now, what are UPSC's expectations? And I will go through them each as they are. I will elaborate them once I go through this. How many of you have read the UPSC notification up till now? Is there anyone who has read the UPSC notification? Actual notification? Anyone? I am, yes. Apart from this, okay. So if you have seen the UPSC's notification for prelims, they have certain expectations. And for the mains, from the answer writing point of view, they have certain expectations. And what are these expectations? Let me elaborate those. First of all, I will just go through them plainly and then I will talk about it in detail. First is very important. What is this saying? I have exactly taken it from the 2020s, 2020's prelims. Sorry, this notification. First, if a candidate's handwriting is not legible, a deduction will be made on this account from the total marks otherwise accruing to him. First point. I can give an example of lot many friends of mine, or even sometimes I feel, because my handwriting is not that good. So if handwriting is not that good, they have clearly mentioned that it should, if it is not easily legible, okay, like if the examiner has to take efforts on understanding what he is to be writing, he will take the effort, but he will also deduce the marks for the efforts he has to take unnecessarily. So what is it? You have to write an legible. A deduction will be made on the amount from the total marks otherwise accruing to it. Second, very important, marks will not be allotted to mere superficial knowledge. I will go through that. Third, a credit will be given for orderly, effective, very important words. I will explain the meaning of each and every word with an examples. Orderly, effective, and exact expression with due economy of words in all subjects of examination. Okay. Fourth, in the question paper, wherever required, SI unit, standard internationally. What is that? You generally don't require that SI units, but they have clearly mentioned. Like, for example, you cannot use the length in the meters and all those things. Okay, MKS system, if you remember, meter, kilogram, and second. So anything that you have to write down, you have to, now this is something, again, people don't talk about this. Like if you have writing some answer where it is about the distance between the two, so you have to write the SI units. Okay, they have clearly mentioned that. Now, fifth point is related to those students who actually have the habit of, what you can say, creating those arrows and all those things, or dots. Okay, so the candidate should use only the international form of Indian numerals while answering the question paper. So this is what are the UPSC's expectations that has been stated by the UPSC. Now let's move on as to individually what they are. First one, candidate's handwriting is not easily legible. What will happen? Okay, deduction will be made. That is what we have. Okay, many of us have poor handwriting, but always remember, where there is a will, there is a, okay, like there is a chance that has been left out. Why I'm saying you, many of you may have, what you can say, no poor handwriting, but if you have to qualify the UPSC, you certainly need to make certain changes into your handwriting. If you don't make certain changes into your handwriting, then there are, like, you will suffer from that. Again, and we are not talking, UPSC has not said a good handwriting. It has just said easily legible handwriting. That means the examiner, the paper checker, is able to read the answers properly. He doesn't have to take more efforts to understand what is written over there. So easily legible includes all other aspects like grammar and all those things also. But as of example, you have to say A. Like what you can say, the proper wording should be there. Many times if you are writing R, it gets into O, U, kya hai, samajh mein nahi aata. So that is not never going to help. Now, let me tell you first of all the benefits of legible handwriting. Okay, first of all, what happens? Clearer thought process from the writer. Okay, if you are writing, if your handwriting is good or if it is legible, your thoughts will be easily realized by the person who is reading. Like, for example, you may have written the best answer in terms of content, but if the checker has to struggle reading that, you will suffer. Okay, so your thoughts, in spite of being very good thoughts, just because a person is not able to read it, it will not show. Okay, it will not be for the writer. Okay, the ideas will not be formed in that way. Okay, so you have to understand, no longer having to struggle with the how of writing. Okay, the brain is fed to work on idea formation and composition. Like, have you ever experienced, like in universities and all those things, anytime at the last moments, what happens is that you just rush on to and the papers and all those things, and while rushing, what happens? Your handwriting changes, and at the end you don't know actually what you have written. So why? And initially when you're starting, your handwriting is good. So if you are doing that, what shows you are able to write that answer properly, because your brain thinks in this way. So what happens is there is a better result is experienced. Now, second point, obviously, easier reading and interpretation of the for the reader. The reader no longer has to interpret the sloppy pen strokes to figure out what is being said. Okay, that is what I'm saying. 2 points. Okay, the reader will not. And UPSC guys again understand that the one who checks the paper is not going to be a small professor, okay, like university and all those places. He will be, what you can say, someone's very senior, and if he is someone very senior, he will think about the time that he has to spend. Okay, so obviously more receptive audience to the writing. Now, how many, I don't know how many of you have written in terms of language also, like how the language is used and all those things. Many a times what we find is the students are like, sorry, if a writer is writing very tedious one, you will not be able to understand what he is trying to communicate and all those things. Mostly it generally happens with the, in 1 or 2 books, it has happened with the Arundhati Roy's books. But if you are reading the Amartya, this one, who is that? V.S. Naipaul. He's a Nobel laureate, but when you read his ideas, they are written in very simple language and they communicate to the people very effectively. Okay, so at least one study has shown that easy to read read documents result in audience that is more receptive of the ideas. If you are putting, like, if you have good handwriting, you will certainly have an advantage that an attention will be given to your writing. So ideas will more percolate to the checker. In our case, who is that receptive audience? Now, there is a tricky part over here. In our case, the audience is not known. Okay, like if I am writing a novel, I will be thinking, right, okay, who is going to read the novel? Whether the novel will be read by college students or by elderly people or something. I will be having a certain idea about the audience of mine. But here we are, at least one thing we know, and that is the only thing that we know, that these people must be of certain higher professors and experienced professors, basically. So obviously understand, if that unknown person is in front of us, so if that unknown person reacts, whatever his mentality may be, we are never sure about that, right? So it is very important that you don't trouble that unknown person. So you are writing without knowing the audience. That makes it difficult. Like even in college and universities, you know the audience. Okay, you know these are the professors who go to check the paper and all those things, and we all know how they check it. So we know university professors are there, but here we don't know which university professors are there. So what we have to do is we have to create certain basic minimum leveling hona chahiye. We have to create certain leveling for that. Levels have to be created. Like for example, we don't want to be below that level. We can be above the level for sure. Okay, but below the level nahi jana, ki iske niche nahi jana. And obviously it is tricky because UPSC never releases what is model answer. So where we can be on the same platform, again, this is tricky part again. Why? Because everyone is reading the same issue, same notes. Up India mein jayenge, who tell me, is there anyone who is reading something different than you are reading? Everyone is reading the same things. What is the difference then? Then the difference is basically how that content is presented. Okay, in the means, how the content is presented, that is making all the difference. Nothing more, nothing less. So what to do is, first of all, the solution, if you are having a bad handwriting, first check your handwriting. Is it legible to you? Okay, then ask someone if it is readable to you. Like if there may be students who are giving the next year's means, so kuch ek answer dikhao, mujhe bhejo, and I will tell you actually, okay, theek hai, this is fine. Iske zyada improvement nahi karna hai. First, but what is important is first you should be reading. Okay, आप लोगों ने वो पढ़े हुआ होना चाहिए. देखिए आपको क्लियर हो रहा है क्या? Then you just highlight certain points कि okay, you will get to know when you read it yourself. Okay, मेरा L थोड़ा टेढ़ा गया है, मेरा R थोड़ा ये हो रहा है. So first of all, write something. Like even, and what is the simplest way? Don't write here in the first case. Don't write by what you can say your mind. Take certain news or a book and write one para. एकदम simple. Write one para exactly देख के लिखो. And then see whether in what sense you are reading. So if you are able to read that, then it is a different thing. If yes, you are able to read it, other person is also able to read it, no issues, continue writing. Now those who are having the problem, okay, practice by giving conscious attention to the words that you are using. Okay, nothing more. Okay, practice by giving conscious attention to the words that you are using. Use it properly. And how to improve handwriting, there is a link. I hope this is wikihow.com. Go on that website. You can click that page. I will send you the link on the website also, sorry, on the group also, and then you can go over there. There are certain 5-6 steps. I just don't want it to, I didn't want to take it over here because for many, their handwriting may be good and it will be again cumbersome. But just go on this part, this website, it is very fine. They have given very simple steps as to how you can improve your handwriting. And there are people, again, I'm telling you, who have even practiced. Like my handwriting was bad. You will not believe I practiced by taking that ABCD books. So that is how you invest the time. Okay, because I knew that this, if I am writing in this way, then obviously it will be a problem. So I always used to be very conscious about my writing, even though it is bad. Nowadays, like writing on iPad and all those things has become difficult. And the problem is nowadays everything has changed into a digital medium. So everyone is thinking why we need to write. But again, UPSC जब change होना है तब होगा. आपके लिए तो आपको लिखना ही है. So why you are focusing on those issues? So just focus on writing. So that is the simple answer. Or if your answer is not legible, okay, so just do these things. You can do it by sending it to me, and I will tell you what has to be improved. Then again, there are certain fundamental things. Don't scratch. ये बहुत बार होता है. Scratches मारना है तो एक ही मारो. बहुत बार मत मारो. So all these simple things. Now the next point, okay, that in the basic writing part, let's try to understand what is superficial knowledge. Okay, the UPSC says marks will not be allotted for mere superficial knowledge. Okay, then let's try to define what is superficial knowledge. Okay, or what is superficial first of all, because without understanding superficial, how we can understand actually what we are writing. So the dictionary defines superficial as appearing to be accurate or real. Okay, it seems that it is real. Okay, but if I start examining, then it does not seem to be accurate. So first point, remember, okay, when you write something or when you speak about something, just analyze on yourself that whether this point is superficial or not. And UPSC's level, it should not be from the outer side, everything looks good, but when you go deep down, what you will be finding that it is not actually, and that is the point. Okay, UPSC's exam paper, unse zyada aap nahi padhe. You are not more literate than the person who is actually checking your papers in terms of UPSC, I am saying. Okay, if that is the case, then you cannot just give him more knowledge. Okay, he just wants an accurate knowledge. For example, many people, like whatever in our society, what is happening? Okay, like if we say like elections are going on. Okay, elections are going on, and everywhere elections of the United States is going on, right? And everywhere I have been in hospital also, I came across the people who are talking about Trump, ye ho raha hai, aso hoil, taso hoil, and they don't know what is even the process, right? So if you don't know the process, you don't know anything, okay, about that, but they are speaking about it. So we can limit it at to certain level, but after that, what will happen? You will find it is superficial. Like if you ask him, यार लोग बोल रहे हैं काय त्यांची सिस्टम है किती लेट होता है. Yes, we agree, लेट होता है, 3 दिवस लागले result यायला. 3 days are going into the result, and more days will be required if I just have not updated myself a few hours before. Okay, just he was Georgia, he was leading Joe Biden now. So if that is the case, then what will happen? Okay, now, and after I ask why it is late, they will not be able to tell it. So you should not be in that way. And I can tell you 100% if you give me an answer, there are points which are superficial. And the superficiality is more because we all are some way or the other, through our education system or through our societal socialization process, somehow or the other we are biased. And in this age of social media, it is very simple, okay, to get biased or to, what you can say, like to react. Okay, I have been suggesting to the students, like many of the students, like when before reacting, make it a habit, because you are going to be a bureaucrat. Before reacting on something, please understand that point. And if you understand that point, then it is no issue. And then you write it down. But without understanding, if I start to write, like, okay, Arnab Goswami ko arrest kar diya, kai lokशाही kai ye the, चांगलं केलं, वाईट केलं, दोन्ही बाजू आहे. There are two sides. But are you even understanding what is at the stake or not? So you have to go in depth. So if you have to get rid of this superficial, then you will feel altogether at different level. Again, I'm telling you, in a society, if you are trying to be accurate or real, the people cannot argue with you. Okay. Then the second meaning, about according to dictionary is not thorough, deep, or complete information. That is another. So first point, it is not accurate. Okay, when you go examine it closely. But then second point is it is not thorough, deep, or complete. Half information. Okay, and you all must have heard half knowledge is a dangerous knowledge. Okay, if I become a like I was there for what you can say 1 year of medical, and if I start to give you the medicines, will that be fine? No, it will not be fine. Even if it is a surgeon and all those things, you will always expect that a person is having a thorough knowledge of the certain topics. So we have to be deep, complete. Again, that doesn't mean doing reaching at the level of research. At least what is done. Like for example, let me give an example. If you are asked about a PSLV, okay, obviously we all know that we cannot create, we cannot know everything about the PSLV or GSLV, because if we are knowing that, why we will be doing the UPSC और नोबेल प्राइज जिसको मिला है उसका रिसर्च तो हम समझ नहीं सकते ना. We all know that अगर इतना समझ में आता तो हम लोग ही नोबेल प्राइज लाते ना. So that is not going to happen. But whatever the information is being given, like for example, this Nobel Prize was given for this invention. Okay, and what is that invention? Fine, enough. Okay, and some certain understanding. You will not need कि उसने कौन सा equation use किया क्या हुआ ये नहीं लगेगा आपको. So thorough होना चाहिए. Okay, and then the third point is when we lack the depth of character or understanding. This is mostly a personality trait. Okay, I will suggest you, this is not what I can say, I'm not hampering or something. This is something that you should bring into your character, that without understanding you must not talk. Okay, it is that time when actually we say we should know what is the best time to stop or talk and all those things. On what basis it is based? It is on the depth of the character. Whether there are people like today they will Dalit basun Dillicha bata karna lok astar. Okay, that is nothing wrong into that. It is their freedom of speech. But we as a bureaucrat cannot have that. Like you can, and in India specifically, it is very simple to realize the superficial nature, because here everyone like if I have been teaching constitution in other parts like Mumbai and Delhi. So always like if I start with my first lecture, then I used to ask their opinion, and they used to say, "Okay, अपना constitution sir borrowed है, ये है, वो है." क्या रियल में हम उसको borrowed कह सकते हैं? Or for example, was really we the people of India? So we have to take those kind of things. आप किसी भी रास्ते पे जाओ और पूछो गांधी जी ने देश के लिए क्या किया? कोई बंदा हुआ कुछ नहीं किया, ऐसा किया, वैसा किया, वो गाली देगा. उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा. So that is superficiality. So as an UPSC aspirant, you must even have realized the depth of your understanding before and after. Okay, UPSC करने से पहले और UPSC करने के बाद, you must have realized, I expect that, what is your level of understanding. Once you understand that level, once you actually bring it into your character, then obviously it creates a different kind of person within yourself. And obviously civil servant cannot be of a civil superficial knowledge. It is dangerous for the society at large. Understand? So one must have in-depth knowledge of the subject, topic, or anything that he talks or write about. I'm not saying everyone can be the master of everything, but at least he should have an in-depth knowledge of whatever things that are required to him. Like for example, you may not be a computer engineer, but in today's time, it is very important that you should be able to utilize the computer. Okay, मतलब उसको आपको utilize करना तो आना चाहिए ना, इतना तो expect कर सकते हैं ना हम लोग. Okay, which is very important. You will agree on that. So if you are not able to use the computer, or for example, there are many students even which I have seen, they are not able to use the email properly. ठीक से नहीं लिखेंगे, ये नहीं करेंगे. So it is dangerous. So you cannot. Again, to give an example, UPSC में एक I think 2000 Formula 1 हुआ था इंडिया में, एक ही बार हुआ. आपको याद होगा नोएडा में बुद्धा सर्किट. There was a Formula 1 race, and that year UPSC gave the UPSC was like asking a question on why the checkered flags, the flags which are used in the Formula 1 race. Like when they start, there is a different type of lap, and you continue a lap. There are different types of flags simply. And we were like, I gave the examination, I was not able to write, and I was like thinking, यार ये कैसा सवाल है? मतलब why a bureaucrat needs to know this kind of thing? But then later I realized, okay, I may think that it is not important for the bureaucracy, But in India, there is a Formula One after so many years. Okay, it is for the first time that in India, a Formula One race is coming upon. So as a bureaucrat, it is something that is significant. So why shouldn't I be not knowing about it? So I should actually know about that. That is what I realized later. Okay, so there will be questions. Like they ask a question on like black hole. Now it is not that simple thing. Like this year, if they ask what is a black hole, because there was a Nobel Prize, and or what is Chandrasekhar limit? Like when I used to create the science papers, I always used to ask the question, what is black hole and what are the Chandrasekhar limit? Now they used to be like, what type of question this is? Why they are asking? But it is every day in the news, so you should be aware at least of that. Make it a habit not to react on the topic or issue until you have understood the meaning, nature, and significance of it. Don't be a part of crowd if you are preparing. This is like personality traits, and they will again apply when you are studying. Okay, like there are otherwise many students are there which I have come across. They will read complete book, but if I ask them particular thing in the book, they will not be able to answer because they have not read it properly and they have not understood it properly. It all begins with proper understanding, and it all begins with the proper preparation. Okay, if you're not going through that properly, then there will be a problem. Aapko samajhna hai why it is important, and you may read many books and all those things. It doesn't help until and unless you understand the meaning, nature, and significance of what you are reading. Otherwise, it's like a gimmick that you are, or simply I would say it is a waste of time. And then, while preparing UPSC, I also consider that you should apply the reason. Okay, be a believable character. Apply a reason to some everything. And then if you are applying the reason, you obviously get rid of superficiality and you reach to the depths. Okay, then it will help a lot in mains answer writing. If you are able to do that, it will help you a lot, and you will. I am telling you from my personal experience, I may not have qualified the UPSC in the final list, but my GS score was always admired. Okay, I may be the first person without even qualifying the list. One of the classes had actually put the photo of me, like he has the highest marks in current this one, general studies. So I'm telling you, the difference is all about how you are able to write. You have to understand that one single point decides a lot many things. Moving on from superficial knowledge. Now, how to get rid of superficiality? Okay, there are various steps. The first step, okay, 4 ways. I have given all these things in the handout, which I have posted on the group as of now. So these all things are there already given to you. So first of all, read properly, analyze if you have completed the ideas and concepts in the topic involved. Okay, so just realize on your own whether you have understood the topic. It all begins with that process of reading. If you have read properly, if you have analyzed whether you have understood or not. Now, no one externally can realize it whether you have understood or not, because we are not in school education where they will be taking the tests and all those things. Even give n number of test series, they will give you certain ideas. But when it comes to qualification, it is your belief in your reading. And that can happen when you have comprehended properly the ideas and concepts in the topic involved. Next is focus on. Focus on content and ideas. Okay, whenever you are writing that answer, once you have read, when you are writing actually, focus on content and ideas, not on external things. Then support your answers with the facts. Whenever you, in newspaper, for example, there are many reports that are published. Okay, write down that one or two facts. If you write that, you are bound to get a very good marks. So support your answer with the fact. Examples of case studies. Now what happens with that? Your answer is not getting vague. You are supporting, like when I will take the directives or keywords, meanings of the keywords and all those things. At that time you will realize, okay, like for example, इसमें ये लिखना है तो यहाँ पे conclusion कैसे बन सकता है? Because you have to support what you are standing out for. Okay, you not to be superficial. You may have any opinion. There is nothing like good or bad. Okay, you may have opinion, but the point is how with what material are you able to support that point? That is the actual play. In UPSC, it is that point. Whatever decision that you take, do you have logical conclusions, or on what basis you have taken this decision? even while preparing and afterwards also when you are actually a bureaucrat. If you have to take any decisions, you cannot take the decisions vaguely. You have to have certain supporting gray or supporting stay or what you can say, supporting documents and all those things, supporting thing. Then second, expand your view of writing. Okay, this is again very interesting. Expand your view. Let me give you an example. If they ask you a question on solar energy, let's say solar energy is the best source, solar energy in India is gaining momentum. Okay, give us a comment on the government efforts taken for expanding the solar energy. Now, okay, I have written the answer. This was the question, comment. Now I have written the answer. Okay, government is doing this initiatives and all those things. Now when the conclusion comes, what I have to write? Okay, here let me give an example. I will write what I will think. Government is giving initiative or initiating various efforts for expanding the solar energy. But I will write, but the government should also explore other avenues of renewable energy. This is just simple line, like wind energy, because India it can be harnessed. So only depending on solar energy, so rather you should also focusing on the other renewable energy. That line gives what impression on the checker is altogether different. He will think, okay, solar energy के बारे में इसने properly लिखा है, लेकिन right last में ये भी लिखा है कि दूसरे avenues भी ढूंढने चाहिए, which is the ultimate objective of renewable energy. And then the last one is try. Try it yourself, practice regularly, and then again, when it comes to practice and all those things, I'm there. Will tell you how to do that and all those things. So try it yourself, practice every day. That will help a lot. Then there is another important second point, third requirement by the UPSC. A credit will be given for orderly, effective, and exact expression combined with due economy of words in all subjects of the examination. Now here there are 4 points that you should consider, and you should actually understand the meaning of those 4 points. The first point is orderly. That means neatly and methodically arranged. Okay, now neatly and methodically correct. There are 2 aspects. Now let's say if you have a particular question X, Y, Z, and in an X, Y, Z point, you have to write. So you have, as in your brain, there are 10 points, but obviously you have word limit. So what you have to arrange is when you are writing the first point, it should be of the most significant. You cannot write the most significant point at the last. What will happen with that? It will just reduce your marks. Okay, neatly we can understand, but methodically means what? You should prioritize the points. Whatever you have to write, whichever points you will be writing and all those things, you have to arrange those points in a sequence according to their significance. Okay, so that if you are able to put it there, then obviously you will get it. Okay, like if let's say someone asks you to write about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, and you start with Mahatma Gandhi ji was born on this date and all those things. Do you think you will get more marks? Okay, it is relevant information. It is not irrelevant information. But if you are writing an essay on Mahatma Gandhi starting with the date of birth, what will be the point? Okay, like everyone knows that date of point. So it is not that significant when he was born. But if you write an essay starting with idea of Mahatma Gandhi, the person who is there is going to understand that, okay, he understands something properly. Okay, then you can come down and write is when he was born and all those things. Otherwise, it will sound like the essay that you are writing in the in your schools and all those things, starting with something. So in answers also, it is very important. Like there are many students who are giving me the answers to check and all those things. And every time, most of the times I have come across that students are writing the answers and the first sentence they are writing is nowhere related to what is asked. Okay, from today itself, make a habit. The first line that you are going to write, it maybe you may call introduction or first line. It should relate to the question. Okay, it should be able to relate. Now, obviously, for every type of question, there will be a different kind of introduction, but it should in any way relate to the question, and it should give an idea as to what can be expected from the further reading of the question. Okay, that methodically it has to be practiced aggressively. Don't write, okay, like for example, there may be a question where they may ask you where this requirement is the definition. Yes, start with definition. Okay, there may be certain example which may certain question which will require an answer in the form of question, answer in the form where it will require an example. Give the example. Start with example. So every question will have a different requirements, and we will see to it with examples. I am going to show it to you. Maybe tomorrow, like we will have 1 hour's lectures today and tomorrow also on this part. So we will be able to comprehensively cover that. So I hope you have understood the meaning of orderly. Effective, simple, successful in producing a desired or intended result. Okay, now when you are writing an answer, okay, let's say, and what is the desired result? Desired result is according to, like they have said, comment, discuss. Okay, they have said elaborate. The effective means whether you have actually fulfilled those criteria. Okay, I always like to use the word in question. I divide the question always in two parts. One is what? One is the objective of the question, and the other one is the subject of the question, which I will come to. But effective is what? If they have said comment, you should at least analyze whether it is comment or not. And this can be done. What is the answer for this? Simple. Whenever you are reading any article, whenever you are reading any book or any topic in the book, try to understand what has author done in that part. Like if you are reading, let us say, Gauchelion, geography, and you are reading about the earthquakes. So try to understand what he has done in the earthquakes. That section of earthquake. He is discussing, he is elaborating, he is examining what he is doing. In geography, most of the time discussion will be found out, or easy explaining for that sake, because all these words have a different meaning, which we will come to the at the end. I will explain all the meanings of the word. But then effective means what? Your answer, those 150 words, should give you the desired result of the objective of the subject. Okay, exact. Then the third point is exact, not approximated in any way. Many of the students, I can show you the examples, they write the answers where they approximate. For example, answer will be writing, large number of roads were built in India. What is this type of answer? Like they ask you, like in infrastructure, critically examine the efforts taken by the government of India, in increasing the road connectivity. Okay, let us say road connectivity in India. Now you are saying what? Okay, road connectivity in India has increased because government has invested a lot. Arey baba, kaitri fact paije dito. Don't write these kind of words. Large number of people will be affected. No, this is not the way. This is approximated way. Okay, say 3 million people, 2 million people. That is what again will require a proper reading, and they have demanded that. Okay, anywhere in answer, if you are writing that large number of the Indurikar Maharaj म्हणतो ना, I hope everyone understands Marathi over here. इंदुरीकर महाराज एक किस्सा सांगतो आणि त्याच्यात तो म्हणतो लोक, हे लोक कोण आहेत? ओके, लोक कोण आहेत कधीच कळत नाही ना आपल्याला. सो यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड टू राईट इन दॅट वे. अंडरस्टँड? ते लोकांच्या भाषेत काय नाही, तिथं लोक होती. अरे कोण होतं? लोक होती. हे असा आन्सर नको. सो दॅट इज अप्रॉक्सिमेटेड वे. Okay, what you have, I don't use the, again, you will not require large number of facts also, but when you are using, use it properly. If you are saying large number, at least say percentage. Okay, if you are writing an answer on open defection, you are writing that 100% government is claiming 100% open defection free India, we are saying, but we are finding a limitations of these many percentage when it comes to open defection free, according to something. According to wherever you have read. Obviously, you are not going to go and research it. So you have to take the example of certain things. Okay, so never approximate. आज से habit. Answer writing में कभी भी ऐसे words नहीं use करोगे. Large number of, many, this many, that many, large number and many. Basically, mostly it happens with the student. So don't do that. Okay, that उतना नहीं करोगे तो भी अपने आप precise हो जाता है. Precise कोई ऐसा अलग नहीं है. ये कुछ और करना है. आपको क्या करना है? बस वेगली रैंडमली नंबर नहीं यूज करना है. ओके, यूज इट समवेयर लाइक ओके अराउंड, ठीक है, अराउंड 2 lakh people. 2 lakh is some fact, even though it is an approximation which actually should not be there, but still it is, at least you have used the word large number of people, great initiatives. Don't use those adjectives. Okay, biggest initiative and all those kind of things. So to avoid that in the answers, then word economy, like for example, the practice of using fewer words. Okay, fewer words. Like for less practice writer, it means revising your work to eliminate redundant. Now, what happens? Why UPSC gives a word limit? Because they know that this answer can be effectively written in these many words. If you are going to write it in large number of words, then obviously you are writing redundant things, which we used to do in the university examinations. Like we used to repeat the same point, we used to circle round and round and round. Okay, UPSC doesn't have the time for that, and a bureaucrat doesn't have the time for that. A bureaucrat has to tell the things very concisely and precisely. Okay, he cannot just start like if a chief minister is calling a meeting, he cannot start with explaining every other thing. He has to tell him regular. He has to update him on the points which are actually required, because people at that level have less amount of time. Even like just you say, if someone comes to you and starts to explain, like if I repeat and repeat and repeat and take the same things, and you may feel irritated. ये यही पढ़ा रहा है. So redundancy, to reduce the redundancy, what is important is to follow the word economy. Now then, unnecessary cliche type of words, like many a time adjectives and all those things are used. So avoid that. Avoid that. Mostly like writing the answers in terms of metaphors. Okay, I hope you understand metaphors. Like Sidhu is doing, right? ओके सिद्धू सिद्धू को अभी कभी आपने सुना होगा, तो वो हर बार क्या करता है, जैसे कि समंदर में मछली उड़ी, ऐसी लैंग्वेज नहीं यूज करनी है दोस्तों अपने. दैट इज क्लीशे लैंग्वेज. use a very same plain language. Don't use as like the tiger we should be strong and all like those. Don't use that language. That language is not expected over here. If you think you're writing that and you are going to score it, you are wrong. Okay, language means a very simple level of language is required. Okay, weak language does not mean, what is weak language actually? Because weak language is using of these metaphors without even properly understanding what is their objectives. Okay, moving on. In the question paper, wherever required, SI units will be used. So that is just a normal one. They have given you the guidance. Fifth, candidate should use the only international form of Indian numerals. Yes, again, this is very important. Many of the students write in the form of arrows, dots, cross, and all those things. They have clearly stated, give the points 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C, D, or Roman numbers, but don't use those arrows and all those things. They are not internationally recognized. This is what UPSC has stated. Okay, so if you are doing that, then if you are repetitively, you make it a habit not to do that. Okay, so world economy ACL पण लागू होतं का? Obviously सगळीकडे you don't need to have a redundant information. Okay, have you read anything? Like you read a newspaper article, every para or every passage will be different. Okay, I will tell you about those paras and passage as to what time what is written, whether you have to write in passage, paragraphs, or something. I will come to that point also, mostly tomorrow. Okay, moving on. So this is simple points. I hope you have got it. कुछ पूछना है आपको? Not is metaphor to be completely avoided. Only at the relevant places. Like for example, if you are having an optional, which is political science. Okay, in political science, Machiavelli uses the what you can say. Machiavelli uses the metaphor. A king should be lion and a fox at the, or that kind of languages. Or Plato will use. So that is requirement of the subject. But on GS, you should actually, I will suggest, avoid the metaphors. Okay, avoid the metaphors. It's like already you have limited words, and using the metaphors will not be justified things. So I don't. I will say in GS, avoid the metaphors. Yes, someone has raised the hand. Yeah, go ahead, Priyanka.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, can you please tell us something about keywords?
Yes, obviously. After this point, I am going to take, see here. There is already, if your screen is visible. I'm going to speak all about the directives, every directive, like comment what it is, what is to be expected, and all those things. So I will be coming on this. Okay. So for today, I will discuss 3, and tomorrow's lecture, I will discuss also. I hope you will get that. And even in writing, also, I will give you, okay, about the keywords. I will explain them with the help of examples, and I will make it very simple for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now let's move on to the second part. That is about first part. Now you have done understanding the basics of writing. Now is the point to write the answer of the UPSC. Okay, the first step, always read the question correctly. Okay, try to comprehend the scope and nature of the question. This has to happen according to the what you can say UPSC itself, and this should be the habit of yours. Okay, if you are not reading UPSC question correctly, you will not be able to score. And what is to understand that? What is? Let's try to understand what is question. Have you ever asked yourself what is actually a question? Okay, so I tried to explain that to you over here because I never like. Personally, I like to have a meaning, understand the meaning of every word without using it. So we use question, question, question. So what is question? So question is simply a sentence worded or expresses to elicit information through a medium. It requires, the objective of the question is to get the required information. Like for example, are you getting what I am teaching? Here the meaning will be, here the medium is verbal, and through that verbal medium or through the text, you may be saying yes or no. Okay, so there may be, like, you cannot say, okay, you will either say yes I'm getting or yes I'm not getting. You will not sing a song over here, right? Okay, just to say that you are not understanding. So it evokes or draw out for someone, like it has to have a medium. When I am asking you a question, I am a medium and I have expectation that I will get this answer. Okay, for someone, that is the point. Whenever I am writing an answer, like when UPSC gives a question, UPSC clearly has something in that, something in mind. Okay, it may not be giving the model answers, but it has in its mind as to what kind of information and in what form should be presented to us. So that is why understanding the question is very important. Otherwise, you always read the question properly. But what is the objective of reading the question properly? The objective of reading the question properly is to give the proper information. And here the medium is, what you can say, the written medium. Like in interview, the questions will be asked to you, but there the medium will be verbal. They will not ask you to write down your answer in the interview. They will be asking it verbally. It means the medium is writing. In interview, it is what? It is simply the verbal communication. So every communication has a different form that we already, and then I have already explained to you what is the meaning of writing basically. But the additional point here is the objective of question. First, very important point, understand what is the objective of question. Okay, if you understand what is question expecting, okay, then I will tell you, no one will stop you from getting those those good marks if you understand the objective of question properly. And what is that objective of question? Simply, I will say it is the directive. Just sometime before, Priyanka asked, "Are you going to explain those directives?" Yes, I am going to explain those directives. And those directives, let us say them, objective of the question. The question's natural objective is that you elucidate or illustrate, okay, the subject. And what is the subject? That I will explain to you. In UPSC Civil Services examination, means the objective is to explicitly gain information on subject, topic, or issues. It explicitly wants you to get that in whatever form it may be. It may be opinion, it may be general information, it may not be opinion, it may be critically examining. Okay, it may be judgment. So opinion and judgment are two different things. So which I will explain as we move ahead. So there are multiple, as you all know, there are multiple forms to gain the information, like in the way of opinion, explanation, elaboration, or even illustration, or even observations. Okay, that all are the mediums to get the information in requisite form, which I will explain to you. The word generally called as directives by many are nothing but the form of information required in a particularly defined way. So whatever the directives, comment and all those things are there, they are nothing but they are the form of information that is required by UPSC. Okay, so UPSC does what? It decides the form as to in what form you have to give the information, whether in the form of opinion, whether in the form of elaboration, explanation, and whatever it may. We'll see that different meanings independently. Moving on. Understand the objective and subjective of the question. Okay, so that is like second point, but simply whenever you get the question, okay, try to what you can say, underline those things. The objective is directly given and the subject is eliciting the information. So I will explain it with the example when I actually go into the question as to you have to clearly demarcate this is objective and this is subject. Understanding the subject is very important. Okay, many a times, like for in paper 2, altogether the approach becomes different writing the answer for paper 2, because there they give the statement or the opinion on themselves. They will give you the opinion also, and they will ask you to support the opinion. So that is altogether different. Underline and comprehend the subject properly. So that is step 2. And let's now divide step 3 in 2 parts. The 2 parts are very simple. First of all, when you are practicing writing answer, and second part is when you are actually writing the exam. So both the things you should be knowing in the first instance. Okay, first of all, now obviously you're practicing, but as practice makes man perfect. So you are preparing yourself for that D-Day. Okay, when you will be actually writing your answer. So obviously 2 things will be different. So while practicing answers, you get a question. Okay, first of all, note down all the points according to their preferences. Obviously, you have to do the step 2. That is what you have to define what is directive, understand the meaning of directive. It may take time, but this is the only way. Then understand what is the subject. Okay, both you have understood in step 2. Now actually writing part begins. But when you are practicing the answer writing, first of all, note down all the points according to their preference. Now here is the point. You may not remember the points at once according to their preference or according to their weightage. So you may write down all the points what you are getting and then again make a list of the points according to their preference. So for some it may be once, it may be twice. As like I always say, everyone will qualify and everyone can disqualify in the UPSC. So same way for everyone it will be different, but these are only the 2 ways. Either you may remember all the points according to preference, fine, you may write down 1, 2, 3. If you're not getting it, then obviously write down whatever you're remembering. And then obviously once you get all those points, you will get to know as to how to place them according to their preference. Then think or note down an appropriate point that will introduce the subject. This is an important point. How many people think what is introduction, what is introduction, what is introduction? What is introduction? Introduction is nothing but it is one of the relevant points which has the largest weightage. Okay, which will give an idea to the examiner as to what he will read in further course. Okay, so that is simple. So write down. So don't worry about the introduction and what is introduction and all those things. You can write the introduction, proper introduction. Okay, but just try, first of all, write down those points. Then avoid the using of adverbs. Adverbs mean like you read because, therefore, hence. Don't use those. Okay, don't repeat the question. Don't repeat the question in answer in any way in the UPSC. Think or note down on appropriate point that shall conclude the subject. Subject को conclude करने के लिए एक relevant point को सोचो. There are various ways of completing the issue depending on the directive. So conclusion should be dependent on the directive or the objective of the question. So conclusion will vary. There is no one underlying way of saying that there should be conclusion. Obviously, it should not be the summary in UPSC. Okay, it should be according to the directive that is there or the keyword. Then obviously start writing the answer. After you have written the answer, count the words. If in the limit, it's fine. Else check what is not necessary. That is the only way to write down the answers in the limited words. And what it is simply count the words. If it is in limit, fine. If it is not, then check yourself only that what were the points which are not necessary. So that is the only point. So read and self-evaluate the answer and get it evaluated by an expert. Again, are there experts in UPSC? That is a debatable point, but to a certain extent there are. Okay. So moving on, I hope you have understood. And then obviously, when your actual day has come, let's hope the day comes for all of you. You will write all the 3 sections. So there is no strategy over here. Okay, you will just, one of the quote of Abraham Lincoln, I will prepare and someday my chance will come. Okay, and when the chance comes, you should not be not prepared. Remember that. You should be prepared. If you're not prepared, you lose out. It's that simple and binary with the UPSC. It is not like you will succeed. You will get to 90%, 80%. No, either you are 0 or you are hero in UPSC. Always remember that. So use the day has come. You can think and you can write it. You can practice that also. Now the directives. For today, I will take 3 directives, 3 or 4, and tomorrow I will take all the directives. Before I move into the directives, I wanted to ask you all, what do you understand by opinion? What is opinion for you? Just type it quickly. What is opinion? Okay, point of view thinking. Apart from this,
personal perception.
Yeah. Let's take that point. Personal perception. I agree. Personal perception, understanding, whatever this, what you understand about the subject, thinking, and all those things. Opinion is simply what we have a point of view or a perception towards looking at certain thing. Whether this thing is good or bad, how do you decide? Basically, your brain decides. And how does the brain decide? Because of your socialization process and every other thing. So if we are saying that it is like an individual opinion, then is really there something like individual opinion? That is debatable, right? Like if you say you like certain food, okay, is it that abstractly you have started to like that food? No, it is something that has come down. You have eaten that food earlier, then you like the taste, and then you decided whether it is a good food or bad food. Like some of you may like pizza, but without even eating a pizza, is it justified to comment on that? No. Right? It is that simple. So wherever in UPSC also, wherever there is an opinion, don't say that this is my individual opinion. Okay, like for example, we read books and out of that we create the opinion. Okay, so whether this is my original opinion, then I am thinker or then I am a researcher. A student who has done a PhD on a particular subject, even they don't do a PhD on whole subject like political science or physics, some part of the subject is taken and they research on that. Those people are justified to say that they are giving their own individual opinion. But in our case, opinion is what? Opinion is based on what you have read. The best possible option from the given one should be your opinion. Getting how you are going to form the opinion? Okay, like it is not, the UPSC is not going to ask you a question like whether you like Trump or Joe Biden. Agreeing? Okay, they will ask you what will be the policy measures. Okay, or they may ask you, Democratic Party's rule is good for India. Comment. Let us say they have asked. It will never be asked, but let's say they ask. Okay, now here you will think what? You will go back, you will study Democratic presidents. What is their opinion about India? On the basis of their opinion, you will analyze with the Republicans also. Okay, Republicans think this thing about India. What Democratic presidents have done for India and what Republican presidents have done for India. and you will compare that, and out of that comparison you will form your opinion. So how is it your original opinion? So just remember, an original opinion, there is nothing like original opinion. Your opinion is based on something. It will always be based on something. The original opinion, you have to study a lot. That is altogether an innovation. If you have any original thought, okay, which is not existing, you will not be doing UPSC, understand? So that is the first point that I wanted to tell you. Just the point is, you have to get the right opinion. You have to choose between right and justified opinion with non-justified opinion. Okay, like if you say, if in UPSC, let us say they ask you a question, like let me ask you, Indian Constitution is adaptation of many constitutions in the world. Very simple one, and I have asked you comment. As you all know, the meaning of word comment is to give your opinion on the subject. Now tell me, what will be your opinion? In fact, it is borrowed. Yes, there are many features of the Constitution which are borrowed, and we cannot deny that. If you are denying that, then you are wrong. But you have to justify as to why those cases were taken in India, why that was taken in India. Second point, are they according to the Indian principles? That is the second point you will be justifying. And on the basis of those justification, you will give the opinion whether you agree that Indian Constitution is purely a borrowed constitution or whether it is not. Understanding? So what is basically the word comment? It is the most used word by the UPSC. It is a verbal or written remark expressing an opinion or reaction. Okay. Now, in our case, again, written it will be. I have given you the dictionary meaning. It's very simple. So, an expectation is what you should be giving an opinion on the subject. It's very, very essential. In the comment, you cannot write an answer, and then again, you cannot be writing. Okay, like let me take a question which is given below, which is, the time has come for India and Japan to build a strong relationship, one involving global and strategic partnership that will have a great significance for Asia and world as a whole. Comment. Let's take very simple one. Do you agree on this? Your opinion either can be yes or no, right? Yes, India and Japan have to build a contemporary relationship which involves global and strategic partnership, and that will have a great significance for Asia and the world as a whole. So here your opinion will be what? Yes, they should have a strong leadership. But then you have to justify yes. And then you have to also justify if no, then what? Or here in this question, you will not have the scope of writing the negative point. Okay, right? Writing the negative point, नहीं किया इंडिया और जापान ने strong relationship build नहीं किया, तो यहाँ शायद से आपको required नहीं है. यहाँ क्या होगा? यहाँ एक ही side है, क्यों करना है? Yes, you will all agree, no one will say. So that is the second point. Opinion to be substantiated. You have to give substantial answers. Like you may involve China over here. Okay, you may involve the India strength and the Japanese strength. You may involve the cultural aspects, sociological aspects, whatever may be. Okay, or their investment in India, our investment in Japan, Japan's investment in India, all the dependence of India and Japan together, and how they could bring out. Okay, and then again you may bring out the falling US hegemony and all those things. So on the basis of that, what you will be saying that it is very important that India and Japan build the contemporary relations. So that is what you have presented the opinion, but the opinion has been whether yes or no. You cannot say that it cannot be decided whether India and Japan should build a strong relationship or not. They should actually, you should give the answer. If your answer is not a yes and no type, again, it doesn't require that you should be mentioning yes. It is just a form of writing. I will give you the examples as we move ahead. Now let's say the reservation of the seats for women in the institutions of local self-government has had a limited impact on patriarchal character of Indian political process. Comment. Either you agree or disagree. That is what you have to give. If you agree, on what points? If you disagree, on what points? Okay. Now, in this case, you can involve the positive and the negative point. Okay, getting the difference. In the first question, how you can take the negative point? Okay, if you involve China unnecessarily, China, why China you can take. But if India and Japan don't collaborate, okay, don't collaborate with each other, then China will benefit. This is not a point. This is really not a point. Okay, ये दूसरा कोई that is never a point. But in the second question, just understand what you will do. You'll write positives, you'll write negatives, and on the basis of that, at large, you will say, at large, what we are finding is whether your answer will be reservation of the seats for the woman, whether it has certain impact or it didn't have any impact on the patriarchal character of Indian political process. So you may comment with by saying it has improved, it has not yielded the desired outcome because only we have empowered the woman politically but not socially. That may be the answer. Getting the points? समझ में आ रहा है? Are you getting the points? Am I audible? Yes. Is it difficult? नहीं हो रहा ना? Simple में again it will need a lot of practice to remember. But these are the things, again, understand, because why I'm taking the lecture is you need to understand this. Like you need to understand it while reading also what the author is doing. If author is saying that Gandhiji's non-violence resulted into the freedom of India, then you should be checking what are the points that he is based his opinion on. Or whenever you are writing any article, whenever you are reading an article, you should be reading it in the context as to what it is doing actually. Okay, so I have any questions with regards to comment? So I have taken the two examples where in the one example you cannot write the negative, so you cannot take the universal definition. Okay, yes, in expert opinions in our words. Okay, let us say that, or the established accepted opinion. Sagar has asked, finally, sir, can we have we have to write all expert opinions? Yes, you read the experts, you form your opinions on the basis of experts, and that is what you are writing. That is the simple thing. Next is explain. Okay. Now, what is question? Yes, go ahead.
So if we wrote a question in some kind of negative form, like I do not agree with this, then it is effect on our answers, marks, sorry.
Or it depends on what the question is. But there are various questions where you will actually not agree. Okay, well, like you will not agree with those points. Like for example, if I am
Then
given
it
this,
affects on our marks or not?
you can write, but then again, are you able to justify what is your opinion? That is the point. Okay, they have not asked you. You have to justify your point that strong. And many times, what happens is that if when you are writing in a negative sense, justification is very troubling. It is very difficult to give the logical justification as compared to giving justification to the supporting things. Okay, are you getting the difference? Giving the justification for negative point is difficult than that of the positive point. So many a times, if you have to think basically, like in the second point, I will actually comment negatively. Okay, and why I will comment negatively? Because from local self body, I will go up and analyze local governance in spite of women being like in state like Maharashtra, 50% reservation is giving. But in many times, we are finding that the decision is taken by the male, and that has been said by the government itself. So that shows me that yes, okay, it had a limited impact. So limited impact, I'm agreeing, but agreeing in a negative sense. Okay.
Yes.
Explain is the second point, second directive. What is meaning of explanation? Make clear to someone by describing it in more details or revealing facts. Okay, I could give you an elaborative definitions also, but simple dictionary meanings also do help us in understanding what we actually are trying to do. So explain means what? To make an idea, whatever is being asked, you have to first of all make it clear. Now, how you can clear that by giving relevant facts or detailing it or giving a reason to justify or excuse. Okay, you have to again justify that. Okay, whatever we will take the examples. Like give clear reasons to show what, when, why, how. Okay, these are like in every case there may be, the question may demand what is it, okay, when it happened, why it happened, how it happened. Okay, so those 3 Y's and 1 H. In journalism, there are 5 W's and 1 H. So here it is for 3 W's and 1 H. Remember that. What, when, why, how. This has to be explained. In the reasons for this has to be given whenever they ask you explain. You just have to check what is required over there. Giving significance in some cases as conclusion can be beneficial. Okay, now here in this point, giving significance, like as to what this thing is about. Okay, so that significance can be taken. Let's take an example. Do you think, now that starts, the tone of question is what, in what way they are asking you an meaning, but actually the question is explained. They have said, do you think that the Constitution of India does not accept the principle of strict separation of power? Rather, it is based on the principle of checks and balance. Explain. So they have not asked you, okay, either you will agree or disagree, that is fine. But whatever you are writing, you have to explain it. You have to judge. There are 2 subjects in this question. Principle, whether the principle of strict separation of power is followed, that is one point. And the second point is whether it is based on the principle of checks and balance. Those 2 subjects, from those 2 subjects, we have to reach out to certain objective. Okay, and that objective is to elaborate that. You have to find a balance between them. Okay, then the next question, the Central Administrative Tribunal, which was established for redressal of grievances and complaints by or against the central government employees, nowadays is exercising its power as an independent judicial authority. Subject is CAT as an independent judicial authority, nothing more. Okay, and you have to explain. They have not asked you your opinion in this second question. Have they asked you whether it is acting or not? They have just stated nowadays is exercising its power as an independent judicial authority. So CAT as an independent judicial authority, that is what you have to write. So that is what the explain is. So remember, explain, make an idea or situation clear to somebody by describing it in more detail or relieving facts. Give a reason to justify or excuse. Okay. Then again, another very significant directive, that is discuss, write about the topic in detail, okay, considering different issues or ideas. So in discuss, simple thing is you have to think 360 degrees. Okay, you have to think from the viewpoint of 360 degrees. Okay, not from the single frame. एक फ्रेम से नहीं दिखना है, पूरे फ्रेम से देखना है. मतलब वो कैसे होता है? See, like being a part of room, you cannot see all the parts of room through your eyes. Agreed? So what you have to do, you have to see the room from outer perspective. Okay, and that perspective has to be brought out when you are writing the discuss. And in discuss, okay, the case studies, examples play a crucial role. If you are not writing case studies or not giving the examples, then simply we can say that it is not a justified answer. Then remember again, this you will not find it anywhere again. I'm telling you, this is crafted by me. Okay, after a lot of studies and after understanding everything in the UPSC from last 25 years, I have come out with these type of things. Now in this, whenever there is a discuss type of question, if the conclusion is interdisciplinary, or if the conclusion signifies the scope of topic, okay, then you get an advantage. Remember, again I'm telling you, try to make the conclusion either according to the subject, again, interdisciplinary, or significance of the scope of the topic. Give the significance of the scope of the topic. Make it bigger. Show the bigger picture in the conclusion compared to what you have shown. Larger picture jitna dikhaoge, that will benefit you a lot. Okay. Examples, let's take what makes Indian society unique in sustaining culture. Okay. If you don't write an example in this part, this question, will you get marks? Okay, you may start by defining culture and Indian relationship. Now, what will student do? They will try to define Indian society also and culture also. No, the introduction should be the relationship, the introduction should be between the Indian society and the culture. Okay, or you can say the impact of culture on the Indian society. Don't give different definitions of what are Indian society and what is culture. Directly come to that unique feature of Indian culture. And here, when you are writing a discuss, we require examples. It can be very simple example of a food or various intermingling of the various communities in India. That is what unity in diversity which we are talking about. But without example, you cannot get marks in this question. And then at the conclusion, you can even write, okay, India has shown a path to the world about what you can say, India in the times to come, India may show as a successful democracy, which allows the cultural, what you can say, which allows the cultural practices of every community can be a role model or can show a light to other world, other countries in the world. Okay, so in that way, like India has always been showing the path starting from Vivekananda's speech. That also can be the path. So what you're making topic larger than life. So that is what is expected when you're writing discussion. You will get a lot of marks. Empowering women is key to control population growth. Discuss. Okay, now this topic is simple, but at end, what your conclusion will be? Are you going to relate the conclusion only to the population growth? Okay, I will conclude by saying empowering women is not only the key to the population growth, but it is key to the overall development of humanity. Now, in a simple word, what I have done, I have not used any difficult language or any other thing, but what I have made the question or answer larger than the life. I have went further, rather beyond what they have asked. I could have concluded like it is key to control the population growth. No, I'm not stopping over there. It is there. I have put it over before only. पूरे point उसी पे लिखे हैं कि कैसे वो controlling the population है. लेकिन मैं आगे जाके कुछ लिख रहा हूँ. Empowering women is empowering humans, or as a species, or whatever you can say. You have made larger than life. So in discuss, remember that point. Anything up till now? Are you getting? Is it helpful? First of all, I have given you the handout of all what I have discussed today. Do read it properly. Tomorrow, we will, at the same time, we will have a lecture continuing this, what you can say, their directives, keywords, or whatever they are. I'll send you the link on the group. Those who have not joined the group can send me a WhatsApp message on this number and I will add you to the group. So a handout has been uploaded on the WhatsApp group. So if you are not on the WhatsApp group, please WhatsApp me on this number, which I have sent just now, and I will send you the link to join the group. And on the group, from Monday, we will be beginning again our 2200 days program. I'll be sharing the notes and all those things over there. Okay. And if you like, please do share with your friends. Ask them to join if they wish to. I will be taking this type of workshops every now and then. Would be grateful if you, and again, if you feel that it is helpful, then I will be grateful to it, to you all. And if you have any questions, do text me or ask me the question over here. So tomorrow we will complete these things, and then tomorrow we will discuss on basically when to write the points, when to write in paragraph. Okay, that also will write. Sir, how are you? I am fine now. Had a minor accident with rickshawala. You know how it is in Pune. Injured at leg. There's injury in the leg. Nothing more. I'll also upload this lecture, edited lecture, and I will send you the link. Then this is the Facebook page. Okay, you can like it. I have created it today only. So I will be sharing the details of events and all those things over there also. Then this is the email ID. If you have to share something,